Finally got all that mess untangled. Got some time to get it all untangled and everything. Been busy, guys. Sorry I ain't put no videos up, but been busy couple weeks. Bunch of stuff's been going on. But today I'm gonna talk about traps for predator trapping. Now remember, this is just my opinion, what I think. So now I'm gonna start off with a trap most guys getting into it is got. There's a little Duke 1.5. I think jaw spread's like 4 1/4 or 4.5 inches. Good trap for coon and everything. A little 1.5. Duke, bridger, whatever size. Excuse me, sorry about that. But for a good little trap for the price, I mean, I think you can get a dozen of them for like $50. See guys all the time asking if they can catch coyotes in them. And the answer is yes. You can catch and hold some coyotes in them. But is it a good coyote trap? My opinion, no. Jaw spread's real little. You gotta be real they gotta step in a little spot versus a bigger trap like a number 3. But you can catch coyotes in them, that's for sure. And if you're just starting out and this is the trap you got, and you don't want to go spend the money on a dozen MB550s or a dozen number 3 bridgers, you can get started with these all day long, guys. But be prepared to have misses and pullouts with them. I've caught coyotes in them. But if you're going to get real serious about coyote trapping, I wouldn't go buy a whole bunch of these specifically for coyote trapping. But you can catch and hold them in them. Now, if you're still not wanting to spend a lot of money, but you want a little bit better trap than that, this Bridger 1 3/4 is an awesome little trap. It's built a little better than them 1.5. It's got a bigger jaw spread, and they will hold coyotes a lot better than the 1.5. A lot better holding power. A little bit bigger trap, so you ain't got to be as precise where they step. And it's center swiveled, unlike the 1.5 Duke. There is some 1.5s on the market that is center swiveled, I believe. But if you're still not wanting to spend over $100 for a dozen traps, you can get a dozen of these for like $96, $97. If that's most you want to spend on a dozen traps, this is a trap I'd get. They're a little higher than the 1.5, but you're getting a lot better trap. This is more of a coyote trap than the 1.5. Real good on fox, bobcats. Now, go to this one. This is the Duke Square Jaw, number 2. Now, you can get these for $100 also. That's a number 2 compared to a 1 3/4. Quite a bit of difference, not a lot, but now these traps are pretty good for the price. But guys, now they might have fixed this problem. I bought a dozen or 2 dozen of these when the first year they come out. Now, they may have fixed the problem I'm about to discuss, but I'm not sure. Right here, the D-ring, I don't like it on these traps. I've actually went underneath and I've spot welded that D-ring because it's got a split in it. I've had 6 or 7 of them, coyotes, actually straighten that D-ring out on these. I've never had that problem except for on these Duke number 2 square jaws. Now, like I say, they may have fixed that problem. I don't know. I ain't bought none since that first year they come out. Other than that, they've been a pretty good trap. I've had a couple pull the rivets out, but just a couple. My main problem with these has been that D-ring. I kind of figure they fixed it by now, but they may not. I don't know. But that's another good trap for getting started. Now, this is a Duke number 3. Another trap you get pretty reasonably cheap. It's a lot better coyote trap than the 1.5. All 3 of these is better than that 1.5. Now, all the Duke traps, you're going to have to do some work on the dog to get the pan to sit level. Most of the time, a Duke out of the box will kind of sit like that. Instead of sitting down here level, they'll be sitting up like that. Then, some more traps. I've got a bunch of number 3 and number 4 Victor Long Springs. I really like these traps, and I've actually started converting a bunch from the pinch pans over to Positrip style. That way I can actually have pan pressure. With these, you have no pan pressure whatsoever, and that's the only thing I don't like about these traps. These traps hold very well. And if you're like trapping in the woods, no, there ain't a lot of dirt. It's mainly just like rotten leaves and stuff. These traps bed a lot better than a cool spring in the woods for me. They're a real good trap though, and you normally find these used for around $100-$120 for a dozen of them. Number 3s and number 4s. Then this is I believe this is a number 3. It may be a number 2. Bridger with the dog. Very good trap. It's got the dog on it. 2 cool. We can't run 4 cools. Some of the traps I have, the 4 cool is actually got a bracket built in right here, and without cutting this away, you can't really get rid of that bracket. So what I do on some of my 4 cools is I'll take my torch, you can't really see, right in here where the spring will come up to the lever, and I'll cut it off, make it 2 cool. But on most traps, you can just take a screwdriver, put in there, pry that spring off that lever, and pop them off the ends here. But this is a real good trap. I really like them. I've always had good luck with the Bridger 2s and 3s. I've got a bunch of them. I've always really liked them. They're pretty well built trap. They're center swivel. Well, see, back to this number 3 Duke. See, it ain't even center swiveled. That's one thing I don't like about them, which I don't have very many of them. Same way with the long spring. The chain is off the side of the spring, but you can buy a I can't think of the name of it, guys. But it's a strap. It goes on the bottom. You weld it down, or you can bolt it down, whatever. They're made to weld down though, and it comes with a D-ring off center, so you can have your chain coming off center trap. The long springs I've got that ain't got that, I'm gonna convert them over to center swiveled over the summer. Let's see, the Bridgers, even the 1 3/4, it comes center swiveled. All the Bridgers, they got that center swivel, good base plate. I've never had a problem with the D-rings on the Bridgers, or any other trap besides those Dukes. On the number 2s anyway. That's a good trap. And then if you saw that video where I bought these are Duke number 4s. And so far I liked them pretty good, guys. They come center swiveled. They don't come with the expanded pan. I bought them and put them on there. But I was pretty surprised with them. They were a pretty good trap. I got them on sale for, I think F&T had them for $122 a dozen. And I thought I'd get them and give them a try. And I've been pretty impressed with them. They're, for the price, they're a pretty good trap. Next year they'll get even tried more. I got them middle of the season, but they done pretty good for me. And then this trap here is a legend. Jeb over at Okie Cable and Trap had these. I can't remember, guys. I want to say, I ain't going to even say because I'll be lying to you, but a guy brought them in there to him to sell. I forget how many dozen. He had a bunch of them. He done sold them out. That's only, as far as I know, that's the only trap, the only legend traps there is, or was available, was the ones Jeb had. I could be wrong about that, but that's the only ones I knew of, and once he sold out, that's all you could buy. But I bought a dozen of them that year, and I really like these traps. I don't like it not being center swiveled, and it's dogless. I love a dogless trap, guys. I like a dogless trap way better than a doggone. Just personal preference. But I really, really like these traps. I wish I'd have bought more of them. They're a well-built trap. I've caught a lot of coyotes in them, and I really like them. Now the MB550. Now this is one of the most expensive traps. They're like $204 a dozen, somewhere in that neighborhood. This trap is a very well-built trap. I mean, it's got heavy-duty chain, center swiveled. It's not riveted. It's bolted. Bolt the nut instead of rivets. I really like that. Posi, kind of a posi trip style. The end of the dog is not latched. I like the pans that's on them. And the jaws on these things are real thick. I really like the jaws. Versus, say, this Legend. See the thickness of that jaw versus the thickness of that. A lot thicker. Really disperses the energy of that trap. Now, my number one complaint about this trap, and the only reason I have this complaint is the way I trap, is it's a round jaw trap. I do not like round jaw traps, guys, for the way I trap. Because, I'll tell you why. If I have all my beaver traps out and I get a phone call about a beaver problem, I can take these number 3 Legends or this number 4 Duke, this number 2 Bridger. I can go set them for beaver. That square jaw will catch them up higher on the front foot, and I ain't gonna worry about ring outs. Versus a round jaw trap like this Duke or this 550. It has nothing to do with the 550 itself. It's the round jaw. I have a problem with round jaws. Because on a beaver, a round jaw will catch them right at the wrist and you'll have ring outs. Versus a square jaw, you're going to catch them above the wrist and actually have some meat there and it won't ring off. I have a lot better luck catching beaver by the front foot with a square jawed trap because I don't always drown my beavers. If I ain't got the weights or it's a ways from truck, I don't pack weights in. I build some of these wolf fangs on about 30 inches of cable. And I'll drive it down in the mud and he'll be staked out right there. And sometimes I'll run an extension cable to a tree for beaver. I don't always drown them. And even on coyotes and stuff, you'll have a better catch for me, the way I trap. Now, I'm trying to keep from stepping on some guys' toes because I know this is a very touchy subject, talking about traps. Very touchy. Some guys get real mad about it. But in the way I trap, I get better catches with a square-jawed trap than I do a round jaw because I can catch them up higher. Like on bobcats, I get a lot better catch for sure on the square jaw than I do the round jaw. But the MB550 is an excellent trap, guys. I am not saying that one bit. That's just my only complaint about it, is it being a round jaw trap, just for the way I trap. But this trap is heavy duty built. I've not had nothing bent on them yet, versus like the Duke number 2 or the Bridger 1 3/4. Now I've had the dogs on them bent, the pans on them bent, but I've not had nothing bent on the MB550s. They're an excellent trap, but they cost more. But that old saying, you pay for what you get, same way with traps. I mean, I have a hard time spending that much on traps, guys. But I don't spend that much on these. I don't have a whole lot of these. I think I have 2 dozen of them. And I love the trap itself, except for that one thing, the round jaw. If it was a square jaw trap, that's all I'd buy. Be these. Man, if they was square jaw, that's the only trap I'd buy. Simply because of that reason. They're such a well-built trap. But my go-to trap, I love this trap. Everything about it. Oh, and another thing, back to the 550 for a second. We're all over the place, aren't we? I don't like having to tinker with traps, modifying them and stuff. I want to take that trap and go set it in the ground. I don't have to dink with it. The number 2 Bridger, or number 2 Duke, any Duke trap you're going to have to do some modifying to get the pan and stuff sit right. The 550, you ain't got to do nothing to it. You can take that thing and go set it in the ground, and it's going to catch fur. Everything good about it. Same way with these Bridger traps. I've yet to get a Bridger trap I've had to do anything to. But I'm not real picky, guys. Some people are real picky about their pan tension and everything. If that pan sits pretty well level, and it don't just take a deadgum feather to fall on it and it go off, I'm rolling with it. I like about a 3-pound pan tension, but I get it close. I don't even have a tester. I just go off how it feels, about 3 pounds, and I go with it. We're rolling. We're setting traps. I don't dink with them very much when it comes to modifying them and tinkering. But MB550 straight out box, you're good to go. You can go, and if you buy these in the middle of the season, don't worry about dyeing them and stuff. Go set them on the ground, guys. Catch fur. Worry about dyeing them after season. Versus you get some of these Duke number 2s or something, you're going to have to level the pan and stuff. But my go-to trap. Now this is my favorite trap on the market. For the price, the way they're built, everything, I love them. Number 3 Bridger, dogless. Love this trap. Center swivel. Square jaw. Good heavy built pan. It's got good heavy built pan, guys. The pan is not latched. Can't really, right there you can see it a little, the knot latch in it. I really like these traps. They're $164 a dozen. That's about your mid price for cheap or high. I really like it. 6.5 inch jaw spread, I believe what it is. Good trap for coyotes, bobcats, coon, beaver. Some guys are going to cringe at me saying coon, say it's too big. I have no problem with them. Some guys are going to cringe saying beaver because they're too small. I target a front foot catch when I'm trapping beaver. That, in my opinion, for a front foot on beaver is the perfect trap. I love these traps right here. That's my go-to. I really like them. I know some guys are going to say they're junk and talk crap because I like them, but guess what? I don't care one bit. You can say what you want. That's what's great about America. We can have our own opinions, and that's what's great about not everybody doing the same stuff for everything. If everybody liked the same thing or done the same thing, there wouldn't be enough of it to go around. But I hope it helps some of you guys that's getting into it and everything. But that's my predator traps. And another thing on them square jaws, I like them because you can cover more area with them when you got the expander pans on them, which for some reason just so happen most of the traps I grabbed ain't got them. But round jaw trap, you ain't got as much with the expanded pan. You still won't have as much pan in there as with a square jaw. But I just like the square jaws a lot better than round jaw, guys. If you ain't tried some square jaws, get you some and see how you like them. But this is another trap I like pretty good. It's a Bridger number 5. Got the expanded pan on it. Laminated jaws, offset. They're a good trap too. They're pretty pricey. I mainly use them for beaver, but I'll use them for coyotes and bobcats. I really like them for bobcats because you can really get close to that trench, the side of that trench where them bobcats are going to be stepping. They'll get right up that step stick and get that bigger trap with that big expanded pan. You can really get close with it. I think they got 7.5 inch jaw spread. But you'll want to check your state laws on what traps you can run and stuff. But these are traps I run. They're all pretty good. It's like that number 3 Bridger dogless. Straight out of the box, guys. Have no problem with it. If you told me I could only have 2 traps, that's the only 2 traps I could ever buy, I could ever run again, it'd be these 2 traps right here. The MB 550, because it's a very well built trap. Number 3 Bridger dogless. I can catch anything I need to with those, whether it be from a skunk up to a beaver, coyote. Them 2 traps right there are my favorite traps. This ain't trapping related, but I pulled the old fan off my bow fishing boat and got me new improved. My old one was a 35 horse with a 48 inch prop. Is a steel fan stand. Went with aluminum. That's only a 25 horse motor, but I got a 56 inch prop now. Give you a little view of my boat here. Steering stick right up there. Got 150 watt HPS lights. Big boxes for storage. This side's got life jackets. That side over there's got my bows, generator. Got a big bench seat. Batteries and tools are there. Fish tub. No, that ain't trapping related, but I thought I'd show you all that. I was standing right here by it. Anyway. But I'll try to do a video on how I store my lures and baits during the off season. Hope this video helped some of y'all out. I hope I covered it good enough for y'all. I don't know. Have any questions, let me know. What y'all would like to see on here. Some stuff I could cover. But till next time, guys, I hope everybody's getting out in the woods, getting to do some fishing, find them some mushrooms. It's that time of the year. Sand bass are starting to run here. Crappie's starting to move up shallow. Bow fishing's starting to get pretty good. Hope everybody's having fun this spring, getting out in the woods. Turkey season probably open for some of you guys. I'm ready to do some turkey hunting. Our season don't come in for another month. But anyway, till next time. Thought I'd show this. Everybody knows how a regular doggone trap sets. Dog flips over your power jaw, hooks into your pan. If you don't know how a dogless trap works, your pan has that little nipple that comes off the end of it, and it catches on the edge of your jaw, and it's set like that right there. I really like these dogless traps. I mean, that's how they set out of the box. This is, I believe, a number 2 doggone bridger. But thought I'd show y'all that in case some of you guys didn't know how a dogless trap, how it works since it didn't have a dog.